Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc, which sailing books do you recommend for blue water sailing? I noticed you had a collection on board. Actually,
where do you
most
start?
of the books we have on board are reference books, cruising guides, which have specific information in them. Is it books to take with you or books to read before you go? I don't know.
Yeah, because you don't want to bring.
There's an awful lot of books, and books, you know, this is one of our weaknesses is books.
That's why we bought a Kindle, because I have a whole bunch of reading material on there that we just don't have room for.
What books? But on blue water sailing, I would recommend.
Well, Lynn and Larry Parties.
Well, everything by Lynn and Larry, that's all good. Anything, I mean, they've written a lot of stuff that may or may not be applicable to you, but Lynn and Larry stuff is all good. I like
Don Casey, all of his lines.
Don Casey's is all about maintenance mostly, although
the Thoreau approach.
Sensible Cruising, the Thoreau approach is one of my favorites, and I think everybody should read it first.
Yeah, and then Annie Hill's book.
Annie Hill's book, which goes back to the budgeting question.
Yeah.
Heavy weather sailing, I don't know. I've read it. It's a huge, heavy book. It costs a lot of money. I have the copy. It's one of the things that's in our box in the barn. Because there's no point in carrying it with you. What are you going to do, sit down on the floor?
Well, if you have to.
Like a lieutenant of mine in the Army did one time during an exercise. What do I do? I brought back a memory. I'm telling you. Books, blue water sailing. Well, I can tell you authors, Eric Hiscock, Joshua Slocum, all those, the classics. And they're all on our website.
Yep, in the book locker.
In the book locker. You have to kind of adapt them to your own personal situation. I mean, you may not care about sailing on a shoestring without an engine in a boat you built yourself. You may be more interested in the Dashu approach. The Dashus are a cruising couple that wrote books way back 20, 30 years ago, something like that. Longer than that, I think. But the Hiscocks and the Parties and who else? Tristan Jones. If you want to be entertained, I think Tristan Jones is the most entertaining sailing author, although you got to take what he writes with a grain of salt, because he's a yarner, he is.
Yeah, but they're fun.
It's very entertaining.
And it makes you want to go out and go do it.
Yeah.
I think that's...
I think so too. I think so too. So Tristan Jones is good. It gives you an idea, a lot of ideas.
A lot of ideas. Burgoo.
You know, I was thinking we might whip up a batch of Burgoo just for the heck of it and see.
I remember you talking about Burgoo when I first moved aboard.
Never have actually tried that. We should probably try making some. And I got, hold on a second. I get the recipe up here on the computer. Well, I got the recipe for Burgoo. I'll read it to you. You can tell me what you... It says, Burgoo is specially suited for cold weather passages as it can be stored topsides and eaten right out of the container. And so here's the recipes. Prepare porridge and pour an inch layer in a container. Cover with a layer of bacon, another layer of porridge, then add a layer of beef. Alternate layers of porridge, beef, fish, and bacon. Lace each layer of meat or fish with a few drops of whiskey. It says, in tropical regions, smaller amount is made. I guess that means because it won't last as long. But, you know. This is from Tristan Jones, One Hand for Yourself, One for the Ship, The Essentials of Single-Handed Sailing. Maybe we'll...
I think we'll stick with
skip
regular oatmeal
and just
today.
Go with regular oatmeal for the time being.
I think that sounds like a plan. Ew.